With anger in her heart, Yan Yu pushed open the door of the library. She saw the third master was concentrating on reading ancient books. Chia politely called out twice, but the third master's attention was still focused on the ancient books and didn't pay any attention to Xia. It wasn't that the third master deliberately refused, but when his mind was immersed in calligraphy, the noise outside could not disturb him. Yan Yu waved his hand slightly to greet Xia. He confidently said he was familiar with it. After 2.5 hours of searching, Grandpa finally found his house, where he was proud of his scissors. After walking for 2.5 hours, he found this. What else? Xiaqi couldn't help complaining. Yan Yu blushed. You're so wordy. I'm just helping you. While Yan Yu was concentrating on searching, Xiaqi began to look around the bookshelves. Soon, a sinister pattern cover caught Xia Kai's attention. He bent down and picked up the book. Zhu Xiaolai Huo, swordsmanship invaded. His mouth couldn't help but smile. He wanted to laugh, but he held it back. After all, it was the skill of the fourth master. This scene was unbelievable. At this moment, the third master quietly appeared behind him. I was just reading a book and didn't notice. Grandpa was happy to see the third master and couldn't wait to make a wish to him. The subordinate was afraid that he would be sad and quickly hid the book. The years are clearly remembered. The book was placed on the bookshelf. It's my little sister's 9 divine swordplay. I have no impression of it. Maybe it was stolen. Seeing the third master's serious and sad expression, and a dragon appeared on his forehead, he quickly put the book in his hand. After learning that Xie was looking for books, the third master turned his head with a deep look. What type of book do you need to find? He knew that Xie wanted to find advanced books. The third master lowered his eyes. Then she raised her spirit with her plain hands and spread like water throughout the library to find a suitable princess for the lower limb. In less than half a time, he found many advanced princesses. The third master smiled and said to Xiaqi, "These modest reading materials, if there is anything difficult to understand, you can come to me at any time." The sergeant hurriedly bowed and thanked. He was about to stand aside. You suddenly said, and anxiously pulled the private down. Before leaving, he said hello to the third sister. Unexpectedly, the third sister's words were remembered. Don't just remember his words. Don't use your martial arts. Don't always make typos. Even his favorite kun was replaced by pinyin. This is not good. Yan Yu didn't mean to destroy Xia Kai's reading. He was just worried. Qiaqi will turn into a corpse while reading. Because when the third master is concentrating on reading, he will unconsciously emit a cold. and he doesn't even realize it. At that time, Yan Yu will be unable to retreat. Yan Yu also reminded she don't spread the word about his mistakes, or he would become a monster. Xia Kai's eyes sparkled with excitement. He certainly wouldn't do such a thing. He certainly wouldn't do it. 2 words made Yan Yu collapse. And Shi at this time received a task to enter Inner Mongolia for the exam. The punishment was still unknown. Still thinking, Xiazi didn't notice. Yan Yu was arguing fiercely beside him. When Xiazi first came to this world, Xiazi has experienced countless system honing and hardships. If he can't join the Inner Mongolia exam within a month, he would be fired by the system. Thinking of this, Xiaxi's eyes became firm and made up his mind. When his hot gaze fell on Yu, Grandpa suddenly became a little shy. Why are you screaming like that, brat? Did I find out that you are my charm? In fact, he was worried that there were too few people here. He couldn't collect enough youth. Only he can step over here. Now he can only find a way to go down the mountain. Yan Yu's sudden interruption made Xiaxi think. Women only affect his quality of drawing the sword. But before going down the mountain, he must get off work. Yan Yu, who didn't get a satisfactory answer, and then asked, "Do you think I'm delaying your cultivation?" Xiaxi's gaze was sharp and upward. Occasionally, he just felt that, in adolescence, and maybe he fell in love with himself. Yes, that's the expression. Nonsense. The next second, Yan Yu drew the divine knife from the void. Yes. Yan Yu, are you embarrassed and shy? You can only use the card to hide your feelings. You've provoked Yan Yu again. The system rewards 9 yin gong to level 10. Will automatically upgrade the martial arts hall. Shai is full of longing for the future. To piss off Yan Yu, he continued to provoke Yu with his childhood and puberty. Yan Yu raised the divine knife and prepares to let this apprentice who loves cultivation to accept the stab with his body. The first move of Julai swordsmanship, Yan Yu's blade pointed directly at Xia Kai's brain. At the moment when the blade was about to strike, Xia Qi screamed wildly, "Fourth master, let's make a bet." The space it passed through, the sudden stop of the space. Xia Qi breathed a sigh of relief. The power that has been accumulated for 20 years. Yan Yu looked at it lightly. Retract the god knife. 1 month later, it's Inner Mongolia. Let's bet on whether I can participate. To become an inner disciple, you must at least. Although I raised my snow energy 2 days before summer solstice, even the raindrop lady took 3 months. Yan Yu didn't think he would lose this bet. Under the encouragement of Xia Qi, Yan Yu quickly accepted it. He asked what the conditions were. If he didn't like the conditions, he would continue to teach him moves. Xia Qi has become the second emperor. If the loser leaves the holy eye, Yu Qingfeng agreed to this condition. Even if I lose, I will think about it again. If you pass the exam, if I win, Shi Kaoqi whispered in Yu Qingfeng's ear. If I win, you will marry me as my wife. That year, Yu Lian. I'm already strong. Shashi fanned the flames beside. Could it be that the fourth master was afraid to accept the challenge? The vague confidence that reacted, and agreed to this. But before leaving, Shashi has a dangerous wife. He hoped Yan Yu could help him go down the mountain. The steps of the temple is not something ordinary people can leave easily. He wanted Yan Yu to help him go down the mountain. However, his request was directly rejected. The sergeant instantly changed his face, which triggered his passive skill. If you don't help me, I will kiss my future wife. Yan Yu blushed and angrily scolded him. Then she kicked his lower limb with a scorpion kick. The lower back wasn't ready, and his lower limb was kicked off. Under the sky, a meteor cut through the ship. A disciple was stunned. Do you remember the move that fell from the sky? The disciple automatically stepped back 3 feet, about to free fall. He struggled to stand up. His first reaction was not. Isn't this a useless person entering the room? A sharp voice cut through the endless. Breaking through the 9 heavens extreme array, climbed to the sky. How could he rely on mocking to get rich? How could he care to take a look at those clowns? Today's ridicule and oddity are just the people who were bullied before, climbed to the heights that they could never reach. They thought this experience of Xiazi was... But it just let Xiazi pass. When I climbed down and you couldn't climb up. At this moment, the system prompt sounded. Anger value accumulates to 100,000 and the mall is open. Xiazi's heart armor. If only there was a bottle of cola at this moment. Coincidentally, the moment I opened the mall, a bottle of wooden Coke worth 5,000 anger points. What's more, it's just a 200 milliliter bottle of Mini. 1 gulp is enough to drink it all. Don't worry. 1 bite will kill you. Still complaining about the opinions sold by the system. Produced in priceless land. The man behind saw the waste in his eyes. His heart was burning with anger and decided to act. He punched fiercely, but was easily deflected by Xiaqi. The man who was already burning with anger now looked like a demon from hell. He finished drinking the Fat House happy water in 1 second. He vented his anger on that. Worth 5,000 points. Indeed, it's just a drop in the bucket for Xiaqi. But he had to spend it. His breath is thousands, he asked the heart. The suppression of the 7-fold bloodline made everyone envy. Xiaqi is no longer the one who was once looked down upon. In just 3 days, he has crossed a gap of 6 seasons. Everyone has a common guess in their hearts. Next time, he will definitely accept the 4,000 cultivation. Otherwise, how could he be so miserable? The substitute undoubtedly rewarded him with only 7 layers. So he was kicked out. The ridicule of the surrounding disciples made the man more angry. Although his realm didn't improve,